Start playing guitar, I figured I just need 10,000 hours to practice and then I'll be good in this instrument. And it doesn't matter if you like jazz, funk, blues, even these kind of ideas. Right? I figured all I need is 10,000 hours. If I practice 4 hours a day for a year, I get about 1,500 hours. So then I need about 7.5-ish years, 7 and something years to get 10,000 hours. Well, okay, let's do it. But, and this is where a lot of people fall, we need to know how to practice. And this is exactly what we're going to talk about today, how to actually make it happen. What I used to do was literally playing the same scale, same position 100 times until I thought I'll master it and master the instrument. But I was really wrong, because this is not the right way to approach it. Now, I wasted a lot of time and I want to save this time for you guys and also make it more interesting and more fun. Before we dive in, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks. The question that we're asking is basically, how can we create strong memories? Now, the answer to that, and supported by science research, is basically we need to be emotionally invested. So if we are emotionally invested, if we care about this beautiful piece of wood, we actually can learn much faster. And that means that when we try things, we of course fail oftentimes, but when we are succeeding, there will be an adrenaline boost, or I guess if it's in the brain, it's called epinephrine, I believe. So in any case, this boost will basically help us solidify and lock the memory in the system. And of course, we need to sleep, we need to eat, we need all these things. But what I'm saying is important because we need to not forget about the emotional aspect about playing and about how we love this instrument. And it's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. Big news. I'm putting out an album and I care about this music a lot. And I would like to ask you to just pre-save this song and maybe even pre-save the album. It would really help a lot and it doesn't cost anything. So if you could, that would be super meaningful. Thank you. As long as we keep trying, and when we do finally get that line, whatever, then there is this excitement, and that excitement is actually one of the elements that really help us as musicians, as humans, to lock in this memory. I will mention that if you're serious about music and guitar, some of the later points in the video are also crucial for your progression, so stick around. Practice consistently. Now, of course, we all say we don't have time, and I understand, but first of all, we are the masters of our own life and time. And I will say something that helped me a lot is to actually have moments or time in the calendar, literally writing 5 to 6 p.m. I'm practicing, or I like to do it in the morning as well. So I'll try to get up and really early have this block of practice time that I know is really dedicated for music. Now, of course, we're not all professional musicians. It's not maybe what you do, but what I am saying is that you can probably find a 30-minute window, whether it's in the morning, maybe it's between 7 to 7:30 a.m. or maybe it's later in the day, but find that window and really solidify it in your calendar. One more thing about time practice is, because I know we all don't have a lot of time, I would really strongly suggest using a timer, because oftentimes people just kind of like noodle and not practice. And now there's nothing wrong with noodle, especially if you have quite a few hours a day. It's really fun, great. But if you don't have, and if you're on a time budget, please use a timer. You have 30 minutes, great. Do 3 to 5 minute chunks with a timer to practice exactly what you plan to practice. Dive deeper. I'm saying it because a lot of times people that I meet practice a lot of things. Now, there's nothing wrong with practicing a lot of things. I myself also like practicing different things, but look, we need to not just scratch the surface. So if you're practicing a scale and you're just trying to do all the scales in one day, that's maybe not the best idea, depending on, of course, your proficiency level. But I would say for a lot of musicians and a lot of people that are figuring out the instrument, it's a great idea to dive deeper with the information that you're dealing with. That means if you're playing a G major scale, for example, instead of just playing it in a couple position and not really know the notes, not understand what you're doing, not hearing it, not singing it, etc., etc., and these are things we can talk about a little later, I will say dive deeper. Really ask yourself if you understand the information. if you feel it, can you hear it, etc., etc. All these questions are basically the building blocks of practicing in a truthful and accurate way. Otherwise, what are we doing? Let's take a specific example. Okay, I'm gonna play a line. For example, so this line, for example, and it doesn't matter, it can be blues, it can be anything, right? It doesn't really matter what the line is. What I want to talk about is how are we approaching the information. So let's take the first idea that I played, which was, I think, something like that, yeah. So basically, what I'm saying here is I want to understand what is happening, because if I'm just learning this line as a finger motion, it's okay. Again, it's not a bad thing, but in order for us to actually be able to create, we don't want to just recite information. Let's look at a line with the bass for a second. So if this is the bass, this is F minor to the B flat, and then basically sort of, right, that's on the E flat. So it's a 2-5-1 in E flat. What I'm saying here is that we need to pay attention to how it works in order for us to move it maybe to a different key, maybe to change something, right? Because if I understand, I can change the line a little bit, change the first note, the second note, the last note, right? Basically address the information, and it's not a locked kind of capsule. And this is one of the things that I feel a lot of guitar players are stuck in, because you have this like position and you kind of know a line or two, but it's not flexible, because a lot of times people actually don't spend the time singing, listening to the scale, and really saying like, okay, how does this feel? How does this line makes me feel? And then, oh, this is A and this is C, right? And it's a whole beautiful universe of information that if we actually pay attention, we can learn way quicker, both in the simple ideas of the pentatonic, and of course definitely in the more chromatic ideas of jazz. And this idea brings me to one of the crucial points in practicing and music. So a lot of people, specifically I would say guitar players, oftentimes when I ask them to sing are kind of shocked, and there is a lot of I would say lack of connection between the throat, the ears, and the fingers, and it's a shame, because we can do it. We can all sing. I'm not asking you again to be an opera singer, but I am asking you to listen to the note and understand the feeling of what it feels actually, because you understand it and we feel it when we listen to music, but somehow when we're improvising and playing guitar, it kind of goes out of the window. So I want to encourage us all, and not just encourage, I'm really asking you, if you're serious about guitar and want to progress listening, studying ear training, singing, literally singing songs, singing melodies is a huge part of that process. People. There's a lot of information around us all the time, and that information is oftentimes in people, right? So your friends, your colleagues, your heroes. So I would say be open to the idea of asking questions, talk to people, take lessons, ask people what they're doing. You see a friend that's playing a cool line, he's playing like, I don't know, you're like, wait, what did you just play? How did it work? Or you're playing a cool chord, we're playing a really cool chord, like why? What is this? How does it make sense? By doing that, you'll figure out a lot of things. And also, I think the idea of music for me is interacting with people. So playing the music with people, and not just, again, nothing against YouTube, I think it's cool, but not just watching YouTube videos, right? So like, go out there, play with people, hang with people, create memories in that sense that are significant for you. And I think having that as a point of reference that leads you is really helpful. It's never too early to create. A lot of us feel that we need to know everything about this instrument. It's a really cool guitar actually. But the truth is that we need to create all the time, and the idea of like writing songs, even if we know 2 chords, and trying to figure it out is a huge part of how we progress. So even if you feel not ready to write a song, or if you're not ready to write something, or try to experiment with the idea of creating, I will try right now and urge you to try, record something. You know, we all make shitty things, you know, but it's the process of making a shitty video and a shitty song, and then once you're doing it again and again, it gets a little bit better, you know, and if you care about it, it will actually get a lot better. So the idea of doing and creating is important. Lastly, I will say, and this is something that I'm telling myself and sharing with you guys as well, is it's not a sprint, right? So we all want to understand music and get better at creating and create meaningful things that we care about, but you'll probably want to do it for a while. So with that mindset, it's not about nailing the line tomorrow or knowing the song tomorrow or transcribing the soul tomorrow. It's more about taking your time and saying it's not a sprint, it's a marathon in the most positive way. So take your time and dive into the information. Thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful and resonated with you. If it was, please share with a friend. That would be awesome, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you.